Well, this has clearly been our worst year yet. I think it's safe to say that humanity has gone to absolute shit. I think we should just pull the plug and end it all.
I don't know if I'd say it's gone to absolute shit.
Are you joking? Kobe is dead. The guy who hosts Jeopardy is dead. Chadwick Boseman is dead. Ruth Bader Ginsburg is dead. You know who isn't dead? Donald Trump.
Don't forget about Niam.
Okay, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Glee, but 2020 wasn't all that bad. We did have Tiger King after all.
And Trump didn't win re-election. They also have their first woman vice president.
Listen, all we're saying is that humans have not learned their lesson. They are equally as selfish, violent, and they have had thousands of years to reach modernity, and yet here we are.
Okay, calm down, everybody. Let's get to the first agenda item for today, COVID.
COVID has given all of humanity a time to reflect on things like their self-worth and self-happiness. It's been great.
And COVID has given people time to take care of themselves.
People are dying, Jill.
COVID has proven that people are at the root of it all free. They are free to protest, have freedom of speech. And so what if you have to wear a mask? At least they can still go out and do all of those things.
But Sarah, see, you're missing the point here. People having too much freedom is the reason why I think that humanity has not evolved into a modern way of thinking. You think all these qualities represent freedom? Hell no. True freedom would represent an internal understanding of what freedom truly means. And these people have no clue. What I want you guys to understand is that humans are sheeps. They are followers. And COVID-19 has truly shown me that. Humans seek an external form of freedom, a form of freedom where, sure, freedom of speech exists, freedom to protest and have your own beliefs and values exists, but are these truly your own formulated beliefs? Humans will believe anything they're told without doing any research. Humans are so easily brainwashed by whoever and whatever speaks louder than them. And the internet is a huge problem these days. And don't even get me started on fake news. Humans think they're walking around being all free and happy, but really they're indoctrinated by the media into having these beliefs.
Humans are slaves to no one. Voltaire had the idea that humans are equal, and just because they choose to act upon their freedom does not make them bad people. They are all brothers and should be treated equally before us gods. They are only human, and it is in human nature to make mistakes.
Sorry, you think the fact that people are free to put other people in danger just because they don't want to do something is good? The problem is that people overvalue their freedom. They think being totally free is more important than making sacrifices for the collective. People are so individual and selfish nowadays, the whole world is a bunch of egotistical zombies competing over nothing.
Listen, if all we're talking about is people not wanting to wear a mask, then is it really that bad?
See, that right there is the problem. The Western world has become so concerned with whether or not masks are infringing on their basic human rights that right there is the epitome of privilege. You want to talk about real oppression? Look at how people of color have been treated for generations, especially Black people. George Floyd dying was the straw that broke the camel's back, and in the Black Lives Matter protests have never been more prominent in Western society. That right there is real oppression.
Those protests have raised awareness about the oppression many Americans face due to the color of their skin. Black Lives Matter movements have shown us what is wrong with society regarding systemic issues and police brutality. There's a lot wrong with humanity, but they now have the opportunity to create real change.
Thank you, Jill. We have progressed so much through modernity. Slavery was a dominant ideology for centuries, and we are just now getting somewhere closer to freedom. People need to fight for their own individual freedoms in order to help groups within society. Francis Bacon said it best: we need to shift to new ways of thinking in order to improve everyday life. So this is just a new way of thinking and expressing the life that we're currently living.
Listen, you're never going to get rid of problems of inequality or discrimination unless if you deal with the fact that modern men and women are external. Hear me out. External people are insecure, and insecure people are violent. When the scientific revolution happened, the Enlightenment, people down on earth got totally cocky. They started to understand how things work, and all of a sudden, nothing was mysterious, and they couldn't control things, and they could control things. And when they realized that they could control things, they lost their sense of internality. They didn't need to have inner strength because they could control and manipulate the external world, and this made them feel powerful. They didn't need us gods anymore. They didn't need religion, and they lost their inner strength. They didn't need to submit to the world anymore. They felt like gods themselves. But this is the problem. When you get reliant on the external world, you get insecure because now you rely on the external world to feel strong and whole. And this makes people violent. It's the insecurity. When men see women, when the white men saw the black men after they had gone through the Enlightenment, they didn't feel like gods anymore, and they didn't feel in control. And the only way that they could fix their problems was externally, which means violence and domination. They had to dominate blacks in order to restore their sense of self. It doesn't matter how many revolutions happen. If you want dominance to end, you need people to be internal again.
Okay. If you want to talk about internality, let's talk about religion then. Let's talk about witch trials. Let's talk about tribalism. Let's talk about Mormon wives. Let's talk about conversion therapy. Let's talk about a separation of power between the church and the state. Martin Luther emphasizes some of the evils of religion by claiming that popes and bishops and cardinals are resting secure in their power and never for a moment think of accomplishing God's will. Believing in God or spirituality might not be bad, but the things that are structured within religion can be bad, and the corruption is also bad. The Catholic Church is powered by money, and behind money comes a lot of corruption. People were literally paying their way to salvation in order to avoid eternal damnation. And let's talk about that. Eternal damnation if you do not follow under God's rule. Are you kidding me? People need externality. I am totally with Voltaire. I think the idea that if we fuck up in some way or another under God, that we will be sent to hell for life is messed up. People need to be external. They need to have their own freedoms to think and feel and act as they wish. To be internal would be to say that we are all enslaved again under someone else and need to submit to a higher authority. And do we want to be in that state of society again?
Internality has never been beneficial to humanity. All it did was put humans into a hierarchy that privileged one group or class over the other. Pre-modernity, humans had no choice but to accept their shitty lives and go on with it. The upper or ruling class would benefit from the hard work of the peasants and working class. Modernity allows humans to take charge of their lives and create something better through hard work. It has given people choice and opportunity. Humanity has the power to change for the better. They just need some inspiration.
Okay, sure. You brought up a great point. We do live in a society where the ruling class benefits from the hard work of others. This system has been around for hundreds of years and is still very much in place today. Humanity is not equal, and it would be foolish to think that it is. There are so many different hegemonic powers that contribute to this power imbalance: class, gender, race, sexual orientation, etc. Okay, let's look at class inequality, for example. You know that saying that money doesn't buy happiness? Well, for humans, it definitely buys power. Are you going to tell me that Jeff Bezos doesn't benefit from all the hundreds of thousands of minimum wage employees at his Amazon warehouses who are exposing themselves to COVID daily while he sits at home with his family? Also, I want to remind you that we still live in a society where women earn approximately 65 cents for every dollar a man makes. So you sitting here telling me that modernity allows humans to become equal only through the concept of hard work ignores the fact that these inherent crutches exist.
Yeah, but maybe we can try to get rid of this Marxist belief. It's so outdated. I want everyone to be equal.
Okay, but let me remind you what happened last time someone had that idea. May I remind you of one Adolf Hitler? I mean, to be fair, he did go about it on all wrongs kinds of way, but he believed that Germany should be a social democracy where everyone was equal. Sure, everyone except for the Jews, the people of color, people with disabilities, the LGBTQ, and anyone who wasn't part of his master race. And you know what? He thought the Jews were these big time Marxists that live in this big time bourgeoisie world. So I just don't think the solution is to get rid of any beliefs and values. I think the solution would be to learn and accept all these different beliefs and values, and then we would reach modernity. But I think that humanity is still a long way away from that.
Sarah, she does have a point. Hitler was pretty bad.
Yeah, and like Joseph Stalin and Kim Jong-un aren't shiny representations of society either.
Do you remember what Jeffrey Epstein did on those islands?
Oh my God, and if I have to watch one more video of a celebrity doing a TikTok dance for some kind of charity.
Yeah, those Kardashians have given humanity a bad rep. It may be time to quit while we're ahead.
See, this is what we're saying. Humans ruin everything.
I totally get it now. Maybe modernity isn't so great after all.
Come to the dark side where we have Starbucks and puppies.
All right, well, I'll see you guys in hell.